my personality is a go personality. I like work. I'm a pretty high energy guy, but after the Super Bowl, like I go away for a decent amount of time. Like I work a little bit in March, a little bit in April, and then after the draft, I'm gone.
Yeah.
So during the season, but I always tell people this, like I'm from Connecticut and I live in Connecticut and I married a Philly girl. So living in Connecticut and working at ESPN, it's different. Like Ryan and Marcus, they live in Texas or Baton Rouge. They got to hop on planes. They're in hotels for 3 or 4 nights. I'm home every day. I'm home every morning outside of Monday and Thursday. I'm home every night with my kids. So it's like, it's a lot, but it's only during the season.
Yeah.
It's all I know.
Yeah.
So
that's all you know. And we'll talk a little bit about that lifestyle of it. Ready to rock and roll? All right. We're rocking and rolling through the rest of Radio Row. It's Thursday still, right? It's Thursday. Dan Orlovsky, probably see him on ESPN quite a bit. If you're not watching your breakdowns, which, by the way, I love your breakdowns.
Thank you.
I sometimes like your food takes. Sometimes I'm the one.
I can understand that.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, like people that will roast me for it, I eat a plain hot dog. I don't put a condiment on that.
Okay, I only really eat hot dogs if I'm at a ballpark.
Yeah, it's a ballpark food.
Yeah, ballpark. I would prefer ketchup, but I don't have to.
Yeah. So what was the recent thing about the whole Reese's peanut butter? You don't eat milk chocolate?
I don't like milk chocolate. I'll eat it a little bit here and there if, like, again, I have to. That's part of the Reese's thing. But I take the outside of the Reese's cup. I don't think Reese's, everyone's like, oh, my gosh, I think they're fine. But I take the outside, like, perimeter off just so it's a little bit more peanut butter. Not enough peanut butter.
Why don't you just get a scoop of peanut butter then?
We were in a trailer, so, like, if I had a –
Bring a little –
yeah. If I had a tub, we were there. I was in between shows. I was bored. I have a sweet tooth. So I do like chocolate and peanut butter together, but I like when the peanut butter is the dominant flavor rather than the chocolate. And I only really like dark chocolate.
So you ever had like Buckeyes? You ever make
Buckeyes?
Yeah, so you get it. So we'll get there. Buckeyes, you can then do a dip.
Yeah, the dark chocolate Reese's I devour.
That's like yours. Is that
because I like dark chocolate.
Is that your sweet tooth go-to?
100. My sweet tooth go-to is dark chocolate Dove, little Dove pieces, 3 of them a night.
Wow. I don't think I've had that in a while. Now I'm having some thoughts.
Yeah, they do. Smile. Just, one-liners.
Smile. That's incredible. Does this ever get boring to you at all? Is this all anytime surreal? Because the thing that I love with you said everything you've always known is football.
Yes, sir.
And so you ended your career, you're moving on, but then you love being in the game. And I know you obviously became so integrated with breaking down football. Hence, it's what you got to ESPN.
Yep.
Do you ever think you'd be in this high of demand now?
God, no. Surreal, bored of it, never. Surreal, absolutely. I say this all the time, and sometimes people are like, don't say that. I'm very aware of what my playing career was. So the fact that I'm on ESPN as one of the faces of it, I call Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
I'm calling the Super Bowl for the third year in a row. I have no business doing that. Somehow I've stumbled into this, and I'm super grateful for it. I never take it for granted. I'm not sitting here lying to you that there aren't moments of like, oh my gosh, I'm exhausted, but I'm never bored of it because I love football. I love being a nerd. I still find ways to be very competitive. I'm a psychopath competitor. So I find the ways that I win and lose is finding things that other people don't, saying things that other people won't, and being right or wrong. And that's kind of where I feel my competitive void in it.
I can see, or golfing with Gridiron Golf here, competitive.
Yeah.
Not that we kept going because you wanted to go.
No, it was my first shot.
It was your first shot. It was only Saturday is the one that couldn't.
What a loser!
What a loser! Yeah. That's tough, man. It's up for
his
the
belly
program.
got in the way. He's an old lineman.
Hey, try to think who else. Jermichael Finley knocked it in. Josh Jacobs first try.
Shut up.
Easy, man. Yeah,
he's good at everything, kind of guy, huh?
He is. We're gonna try to have him on later on. Then Trey McBride. He might have been a timeout before the snap or the putt.
Okay.
So he had to redo and knocked it in on 4th down.
Dan.
Dan got 3 in a row.
Someone got 3 in a row?
Yeah. Adam Brenneman got 3 in a row. Yeah.
That's big time.
Yeah.
That's not an easy target. That's a 4-footer.
It's a 4-footer.
4-footer with a little turn.
Well, that's what you're standing over the ball. You're thinking about it a little bit too much. That happens. I tell people for birdie putts, I don't have a lot of them, Dan, but when I do, I leave a lot short. And when it's 10 putt or 10 feet, I'm hitting that thing by about 20 feet.
Okay, so a couple things. With the birdie putts that are those 4 or 5 footers, you got to go with the Ricky Fowler method.
Okay, what about
Fowler always hits birdie putts a foot long.
Okay.
He never wants it to die into the cup. And he always says, I don't care. Like what are you as a golfer? Okay?
Sure.
Okay, so if you make 5 or you make 3, so if you push it too far past and you make 5, do you really care? No, you're gonna make a bunch of 5s.
Yeah.
But if you make a 3, I made 3 birdies today. What'd you shoot? Don't matter. I made 3 birdies today.
That's a good point.
So who cares if you make bogey? You're gonna make bogeys. You're an everyday golfer.
So I need Dan back to just for like life advice or motivation. Just have him
come
by there.
And in the long ones, if you have that philosophy on those 4 or 5 footers, the long ones you won't run past anymore.
Okay, so
because you're just trying to leave yourself the chance to make the 4 footer.
Can you like give me the life advice on a day to day? Because that was very uplifting. Because now I'm going to sit there. I'm going to be on the golf course. I'm going to go. Remember what Dan said, and Ricky. Hey, they're not going to remember. What are you going to tell people? I made 3 birdies.
3 birdies. What did you shoot?
This thing.
I don't know what I shot, but I made 4 birdies.
Yeah, I got a 9 on a par 3, but I had 4 birdies.
I birdied number 12.
There it is.
I made 7. Great. I birdied it.
Yeah. What did you? Oh, you bogeyed 12. I birdied that one.
Yep.
Forget about the other ones.
Birdies, man. Circles. They all the only thing that matters. Circles.
Yeah. I gotta say it's been really fun to watch the evolution for you personally.
Thank you.
Yeah, it helps. I'll tell you what. Every time we bring on a clip, talk about you or what you're doing, and either sometimes if we think that you're always right or maybe you're not.
Sure.
People love it. You are. People get all fired up with things. People in Baltimore got fired up with the Josh Allen comments. And,
sure.
But the thing was, by the way, which people missed the big part of it, Josh Allen and Lamar are just really stinking good players.
They're both awesome. And they both have very similar kind of narratives around their career. Lamar's obviously got the MVPs, but they're both sensational players that you're like, I don't want to say got let down again, but you're like, yo, you got let down again, you know? And neither were flawless, but like you can point to 2 games in the playoffs recently for Lamar and be like, oh, the drop. Oh, the fumble. Josh has got back-to-back drops. And so it's like they're both sensational players, man. They're both awesome dudes. You get to spend time with them. I say this to people all the time. Like people say, my job, I'm supposed to be unbiased. You know how hard that is when you spend time with these dudes and you get to know them? I have a buddy who works for the Ravens. He talks to me about like how remarkable Lamar is. So how am I not supposed to have an affinity towards him and an appreciation for him? And the same with Josh. I got to spend time with Josh. You're like, yo, you're one of the best dudes I know. So I'm rooting for him. If people think that's me being bad at my job, I don't care.
I don't think that. Well, I think you're actually very good at your job.
Thank you.
And also with the breakdowns and the X's and O's. And by the way, I want to clarify something with that. And you keep saying you understand with your career. Dude, you were an NFL quarterback still. Like you know, but I understand what you're saying.
Sure.
Like you got to a level still, and I get it. People want to get you got to the highest level, and also UConn, go Huskies, right through and through. But that's hard in itself. I don't think you were more than qualified, and just because maybe it didn't work out in the field the way that you wanted to, doesn't mean you don't know the game just as much. But I do understand you're talking about things like what you got. Yeah, the point for me with a lot of the O's guys are my former teammates.
Yeah, and
people always say, "Well, Ryan, you're a homer." I'm like, no, I'm not trying to be a homer. I'm objective. Like Dean Kramer and I are good friends. Like Dean, I think you can strike out any lineup in the bigs, but if you hang a cutter over the middle with
hanging
2
and
strikes, that puppy's going a long way. And
yeah,
it does happen. I'm like, can you stop doing that?
Right.
But is he one of the best guys I know? Absolutely.
Sure.
Just like with Josh, just like with Lamar. So, and I get it. And I even remember one comment you said with like Aaron Rodgers was talking about his career. You're like, I'm in no place to tell Aaron because Aaron Wren did X, Y, and Z, but you have to talk about the game.
Yeah.
You got to describe you're objective.
Right.
You're objective to the situation, but you're critical, but not personal.
Yeah. And celebrating the failure.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like sometimes you know what? I did that once with Dak Prescott 5, 6, 7 years ago, and I don't want to do that anymore. Like celebrating the failure. The Aaron Rodgers thing was like, you know how silly it would be for me in my career to go on television and go, Aaron Rodgers sucks. Why? What am I gaining out of that? You know, like I could say, I don't think he's playing great. No, but like to say he's playing terrible, like if you're a Hall of Famer, maybe you can say that. I think that's silly for me to do.
Yeah. Well, I think you got a great perspective on it. I'm curious though, in general, because a lot of things can happen. and you've had some very colorful moments on TV.
Sure.
How do you keep the composure at times, like when you're on First Take or you're on wherever? I know it's entertainment.
Sure. Yeah, you're doing TV, so there's always that. I don't think that I do or say things that aren't what I naturally would do. That's a little bit of my person, but how do I keep my composure? My honest answer, and this is the downside of being honest, is like I don't think there's anybody in the world better than me at what I do. And so I always believe that I'm ready for any single thing. I'm not worried about being wrong. I chase being right. I know if I do that, I'm going to be wrong. I'm okay with that. I don't like it when I'm wrong, but I know I'm going to be. I would much rather be right. And so I chase that. And I don't know. I've got a comfort level in it. I just don't think anybody's more prepared than me.
Okay, so this goes back to the life lessons with Dan part. I need this like written down. It's like almost like believe in yourself. Believe if you are prepared, which you are. I mean, your notes are how much film do you watch
every snap
per week? Every snap of every game. Shirts and pants, man. How many hours is that?
Usually takes me an hour. A game takes me an hour.
Okay. Then you're watching roughly 14 to 16 games.
16 games a week. And then the nice thing is, as you get into the heart of the season, you'll get the bye. So like 4 or 5 teams will be on a bye.
Yeah.
That's a nice week. And then now at the end of the season, was I watching every snap of the New York Giants in their 18th game? No, I didn't do that. But yeah, every snap.
Man, not prepared now. Dan.
Yeah, every snap. I have to.
Well, I mean, but that's what my point is. That Dan's commandments here. That's right there being prepared. If you're prepared and you're locked in and you're doing what you got to do, yeah, why wouldn't you have the confidence?
Exactly.
Especially if you know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
But I think that was one thing for me as a player. I don't know if you had that. I always maybe had a little bit more of a doubt. I was in an interesting situation.
Sure.
Ripken's not a name where I could walk around and
Correct.
be like, hey, you know what? Instead of it being like, oh, that sounds familiar. They're like, wait a minute. Like, oh, Cal's kid, Billy's kid.
Yeah.
Like, it depends on the day.
Yeah.
Maybe neither.
Yeah.
So there was an expectation where I had doubts in my mind.
Of course.
Now on the media side, I actually feel confident in my abilities and what I can continue to do on the baseball's my bread and butter. But understanding it, I think we get prepared. I feel confident in it, but I didn't have that as a player. Did you have that problem when you played, or did you always still have that same conviction?
I never had that problem as a player until I got to the NFL. And then, I don't play. Our team sucks. I finally play a little bit. Our team sucks. And so like doubt became a big hurdle of mine in the NFL. And then you get to a point because it's your job where you're just trying to like, all right, I just want to have my career now rather than, like when you're 16, you're like, I just want to make it to the NFL. So I'm going to do everything I can. The NFL is a job. And so it does change for sure. But I wasn't as confident as an NFL guy as I was a college or a high school kid.
How you talking about when you're losing, it sucks. It's hard to play well when the team sucks. Because the business part of it, you're playing for your job on top of it.
Correct.
Too. How rough was it for those grueling years of losing? Do you have a memory there
brutal.
where you sat there and you're like, I know people want to talk about the safety. Do you have a moment there where you're just like, damn, kind of feels low here?
Oh, yeah. I mean, multiple years in Detroit where we were really bad, but I think it was my 3rd or 4th year. We were 0. And so my 4th year, we were 0 and probably let's call it 11 or 12. You're in the back end of November. It's in Detroit. The economy at that time sucked. The weather in Detroit, late November, early December is really bad. I'm by myself. We're 0 and 11, 0 and 10. And I was in an install meeting at 7, 8 in the morning, and we're installing the offense. And my quarterback coach is next to me. And he is inside of his Lions binder. He has a binder of another team, a college that he was preparing for an interview for. So in that moment, I'm sitting there going, I'm just trying to figure it out. We're terrible. I'm trying to prove I can play in the league. And my quarterback coach is like preparing for a job interview during install. So that was, there's some moments like that, man.
See, those are the stories I like deep down to hear, Dan.
Yeah.
Because like, people don't think about it that way. And here you are. Losing sucks, man.
Yeah, it's tough.
And obviously, as we found out again, you handle losing very well.
I am a bad loser, man.
You are.
Dude, I'm a bad loser. We play wiffle ball in the backyard with my kids. I almost had a friendship end 2 years ago on July 4th over a wiffle ball game with another a guy I've been dear friends with for 25 years. So I don't do losing well. I honestly don't know how, like sometimes when my kids lose, I'm freaking miserable. And I'm like, Dan, you can't let them say it. And then like they'll come off the field. And I got one son who's a really good athlete, but he's not like a psychopath. My daughter and my other son are psychopaths. And so like he'll come and give my wife a hug and like he'll giggle within a minute. And I'll look at her like, what the fudge is he doing, dude? You know? And I want to be like, what is wrong? But that's just who he is. So I don't do losing well, man. I just don't.
I've said it before in the interviews today. When you get someone going on a topic right there, your eyes get bigger right there. So I love the passion that you have there. And the other part, even though you can be a sore loser, hate losing, you are easy to go with the flow, man. I mean, people roast, like I know the McAfee guys, they roast you on the fart and the whatever the hell else happens. You roll with it, you give back, but you also just, I mean, you can't win with that. That one you can't win.
I take my job very seriously, myself not, so I really don't take myself that seriously, but I do take my job that seriously. And I think it goes back to a little bit my comment before was like, I'm very aware of my career. From both ends, I'm super, super, super confident in myself. So it's like, I don't know, like I got a great life, man. I get paid a lot of money to talk sports. I got an awesome family. I'm healthy. Got really good friends. I really don't have that much to be unhappy about.
Yeah. Any other words of wisdom you can leave me with before I go? But, also that you have a great life and you kept the friendship, didn't lose the friendship.
Yeah.
Was it on a check swing baseball-wise on the wiffle ball game? Do you even remember?
It was how many outs?
Oh, my goodness.
How many outs? And he was arguing that it was 3 outs. Like, there's not freaking 3 outs, dude. So.
And it's good how you can just remember it just like that. Give me one piece of advice. One more piece on the Dan commandments.
It's something that's not mine. I heard it, but never underestimate the price of inaction. So often as human beings and as people, we're scared to do things, so we don't do them. And we don't think there's a cost to not doing something or saying something. Never underestimate that cost.
Gosh, I know it's not your saying, but damn it, I'm going to say it's Dan Orlovsky's saying. It's amazing.
Don't underestimate the cost of inaction.
Amazing. Well, Dan, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for making it on the first putt, too. You're a tremendous winner, an awful loser, and you are fantastic.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Dan.
Thanks, man.
Thanks,
bud. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you for taking time.
Yeah, my pleasure.
And is this your hat?
Lily's going to meet you back here.
She is? That's my hat.
So.
Yes, sir.
They wanted to get step on.
That's the Sunday red.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. If you ever end up coming to Baltimore, and you need anything from Lily, let me know.
What's up, buddy?